Most people make one small mistake every single morning, and it quietly pushes their kidneys closer to danger. No pain, no warning, no obvious sign. Just a slow drift toward fatigue, swelling, high blood pressure, and eventually, the conversation no one wants to have. Dialysis. And the surprising part? It's not junk food. It's not fast food. It's not something you'd expect. It's the drinks we trust, the ones we choose because we believe they're healthy. Oat milk, iced tea, protein shakes, bone broth, each with a hidden load the kidneys are forced to carry alone. So the real question is, how many of these healthy drinks are quietly working against you, without you even knowing? Most people don't realize kidney decline begins silently, not with pain, but with routine habits. Every day, we pick up drinks without thinking twice. A cup of tea to relax, a flavored drink to refresh, a healthy alternative milk to feel like we're making a better choice. These decisions feel small, but over months and years, they become patterns that shape our health. Many people believe kidney disease shows clear signs early on, but in reality, kidney function often decreases quietly. There's no warning pain, no sudden shock. The kidneys simply work harder and harder in the background, until one day, the damage is hard to undo. That's why so many people only discover kidney issues during routine blood tests or when symptoms have already progressed. For someone who values independence, this is important. Being able to take care of yourself, move freely, and not depend on machines or other people is something deeply personal. Dialysis isn't just a medical treatment. It affects routines, travel plans, work, family time, and the simplest moments of daily life. So, understanding what supports your kidneys and what harms them is not just about health facts. It's about protecting dignity and quality of life. The difficult part is that many drinks, labeled healthy, natural, or good for you, are not actually safe for kidneys when consumed regularly. The problem isn't always visible on the front label, and it's not always obvious in the taste. Some of the most trusted drinks contain substances that quietly increase kidney workload, especially for people already at risk. But the danger isn't always in the drink. It's in the invisible ingredient hiding inside it. Let's understand the kidneys before we talk about what harms them. The kidneys are small, but they do a very important job. They filter the blood all day long, every single day. They remove waste, extra minerals, extra water, and send these out of the body through urine. They also help balance electrolytes like sodium and potassium, and they support healthy blood pressure. Even though they work quietly, they affect almost every part of the body. You can think of the kidneys like a natural filtration system. Blood flows in, the kidneys separate what the body needs from what it doesn't, and then the clean blood flows back out. When kidneys are healthy, they handle this job smoothly. But when kidney function begins to decrease, the filtration becomes slower. Waste and minerals can start to build up in the blood. At first, this change is so gradual that a person may not feel anything noticeable. This is why kidney stress is often silent. There is no direct signal to tell you that kidneys are working too hard. Instead, what affects them most is the amount of load they have to process. Load means how much work the kidneys need to do. Capacity means how much they are able to handle safely. When the load matches the kidney's capacity, the body stays balanced. But if the load is consistently higher than the capacity, the kidneys struggle. Age, high blood pressure, diabetes, dehydration, and diet can all reduce kidney capacity over time. Meanwhile, certain drinks add extra minerals, chemicals, or compounds that increase the load. This imbalance slowly increases strain. So, the key idea is simple. Kidney health depends on keeping the load lower than the capacity. When the load is too heavy for too long, damage can progress. So, what happens when a healthy drink carries more load than your kidneys can handle? The first hidden danger isn't sugar, salt, or fat. It's something far less obvious. Many people already know to watch their sugar intake, limit sodium, and avoid too much fat. But there is another ingredient that shows up quietly in ingredient lists, especially in drinks that seem healthy. This ingredient is phosphate additives. Phosphorus itself is not the problem. Natural phosphorus is found in foods like beans, grains, nuts, meat, and dairy. When phosphorus comes from natural sources, the body does not absorb all of it. Only about 30 to 60% is absorbed because the phosphorus is bound inside the food structure. This means the kidneys have to filter a smaller amount. For healthy people with normal kidney function, this is usually manageable. Additive phosphate is different. When manufacturers process foods and drinks, they often add phosphorus in the form of phosphate salts. These appear in ingredient lists with the word phosphate in them, such as dipotassium phosphate or calcium phosphate. These additive forms are not bound inside food. They are free, which means the body absorbs about 90 to 100% of them. This is where the real problem starts. When the body absorbs almost all the added phosphate, the kidneys must filter and remove nearly the full amount. For someone with normal kidney function, this still increases workload. But for someone with reduced kidney capacity, even slightly, this becomes a direct strain. Over time, high phosphate levels in the blood can trigger the body to pull calcium from the bones to try to balance levels, weakening bones while increasing kidney stress. The challenge is that phosphate additives are often used for texture, creaminess, and shelf stability. They do not change taste, so people have no idea they are consuming extra phosphorus. And many drinks that appear healthy or plant-based are among the biggest sources. And the most popular plant-based drink is quietly delivering more phosphorus than many people realize. Oat milk seems harmless, even healthy. But flip the carton. Many commercial oat milks are marketed as a better alternative to dairy. The label may say plant-based, lactose-free, or heart-friendly. But what most people don't notice is that many brands add phosphate-based ingredients to make the drink look creamy and smooth. These appear as dipotassium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, or other ingredients ending in phosphate. They don't affect the flavor, so it's easy to assume the drink is simple and natural. When oat milk is fortified with calcium, manufacturers often add calcium phosphate, which increases overall phosphorus content. A single cup of some popular oat milk brands can contain around 200 to 270 milligrams of phosphorus. For a person with kidney concerns who may be advised to stay around 800 to 1,000 milligrams of phosphorus per day, 1 cup could use up nearly 1/3 of their daily limit. And because these are additive phosphates, the body absorbs almost all of it, which means the kidneys have to handle almost the full amount. Over time, this extra phosphorus can create an imbalance in the body. When phosphorus levels become too high in the blood, the body tries to correct it by pulling calcium out of the bones. This can weaken bones while increasing pressure on the kidneys. Someone may think they are choosing oat milk to support their bones or improve health, when the result may be the opposite, especially if kidney function is already reduced. There is a simple alternative that avoids this issue. Look for oat milk brands with no added phosphates. Choose the versions labeled unfortified or original, with short ingredient lists. Or make your own at home. Blend 1 cup of oats with 4 cups of water. Strain, and it's ready. No additives, no hidden phosphates, and you have full control. But while oat milk stresses your bones, our next drink may be building kidney stones 1 glass at a time. A cold glass on a hot day, but inside, a stone-making chemistry set. Sweetened iced tea feels harmless and refreshing. Many people choose it instead of soda because it seems more natural. But when it comes to kidney health, the combination of ingredients and the way it's usually consumed can quietly increase the risk of kidney stones, especially for those who are already prone to them. The first issue is sugar. When you drink a high-sugar beverage, the body responds in several ways, and one of them is increasing the amount of calcium released into the urine. This extra calcium becomes raw material for stone formation. Even if someone avoids salty snacks or calcium supplements, the sugar alone can push more calcium toward the kidneys. The second part of the problem is the tea itself. Black tea is high in oxalates. Oxalates act like a bonding agent. When they meet calcium in the kidneys, they can form crystals. Over time, these crystals can grow into stones. If someone frequently drinks large glasses of strong iced tea, especially every day, the oxalates can build up faster than the kidneys can remove them. The third factor is dehydration. Iced tea is popular on hot days, after exercise, or during meals out. In these situations, the body may already be slightly dehydrated. When urine is concentrated, calcium and oxalates are more likely to stick together. This creates the perfect conditions for stones to form. The good news is that the solution doesn't require giving up iced tea completely. Brew it yourself and switch to green tea, which has much lower oxalate content. Replace sugar with a small squeeze of lemon. Lemon adds citrate, which helps prevent calcium from forming crystals. And drink an extra glass of plain water when having tea, especially in hot weather. But what about the drink we give to children, thinking it's comforting and innocent? A cup of comfort, engineered with phosphate and sugar. Hot chocolate mix is something many people associate with childhood memories, winter evenings, or a small reward after a long day. Because of this emotional connection, it feels harmless. But the powdered mixes found in most grocery stores are not simply cocoa and sugar. They are heavily processed products designed to dissolve instantly, stay smooth, and taste creamy without using real cream. To achieve this, multiple additives are included, many of which place extra strain on the kidneys. If you look at the ingredient list on most hot chocolate mixes, you'll see terms like dipotassium phosphate, sodium phosphate, sodium caseinate, or tricalcium phosphate. These are phosphate additives. As discussed before, additive phosphate is absorbed almost completely by the body. This means the kidneys must handle the full load. For someone with reduced kidney function or someone at risk of kidney disease, this extra phosphorus can raise blood levels, which then forces the body to pull calcium from the bones. Over time, this weakens bones while increasing kidney stress. Hot chocolate mix also contains a high amount of sugar. A single serving can have 15 to 25 grams of added sugar, and some specialty brands have even more. Sugar contributes to higher calcium in the urine, which can increase the risk of kidney stones. Additionally, cocoa naturally contains some potassium and oxalates. While small amounts are usually manageable, regular intake in a concentrated drink can build up and add to the load. The good news is that there is a much safer way to enjoy a warm, chocolate-flavored drink. Use real cacao powder instead of processed mix. Choose an unsweetened, pure cacao with no additives. Combine it with a no-phosphate milk option and add just a small amount of honey or a natural sweetener to taste. This keeps the flavor while removing the hidden strain. But the real shock comes when we look at the drink millions use to replace meals for convenience. High protein doesn't always mean healthy, especially for kidneys. Many people try to improve their diet by increasing protein. They may hear that protein builds muscle, helps with weight control, or keeps you full longer. While this is true for healthy kidneys, the situation changes when kidney function is reduced, even slightly. Protein must be filtered by the kidneys, and this filtering requires effort and pressure. A simple way to understand this is by imagining a water filter. When a lot of water is pushed through at once, the filter works harder and faster. This is similar to what happens in the kidneys when protein intake is high. The kidneys increase their filtration speed to manage the extra protein. This process is called glomerular hyperfiltration. At first, it may seem like the kidneys are performing well because they are filtering quickly. But just like a machine that runs at full speed every day, the strain over time can lead to wear and damage. Many people unknowingly push their kidneys into this high-speed state. They drink protein shakes every morning, add extra protein bars during the day, or use meal replacement drinks without realizing that each serving can contain 20 to 30 grams of protein. For a person whose kidneys are already working with reduced capacity due to aging, diabetes, high blood pressure, or dehydration, this extra protein load can accelerate decline. The body only needs a certain amount of protein each day, and spreading it across meals is easier for the kidneys. But taking a large amount all at once forces the kidneys to handle a sudden heavy load. Over time, this becomes too much. And the worst part? The next drink is marketed specifically as a health solution. Convenience comes at a cost. Meal replacement shakes are marketed as quick solutions for busy schedules. They promise balanced nutrition, energy, and strength in one bottle or scoop. Many people use them thinking they are making a responsible, health-focused choice. But these shakes often contain more protein in a single serving than the kidneys can comfortably handle at one time, especially for people who already have reduced kidney function or are at higher risk of decline. Most commercial meal replacement shakes contain around 20 to 30 grams of protein per serving. Taking this amount in one drink forces the kidneys to rapidly filter the protein byproducts. For healthy kidneys, this may be manageable occasionally. But for someone with early-stage kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, or age-related decline in kidney filtration, this sudden protein load can increase strain. The kidneys are pushed into overworking mode, which over time can speed up wear and loss of function. There is another issue many people don't notice: phosphate additives. These shakes are often fortified to seem nutritious, so companies add phosphate salts to improve texture, flavor, and nutrient profile. Because these forms of phosphate are easily absorbed, almost all of it enters the bloodstream and must be filtered by the kidneys. A single shake can contribute a significant portion of the daily phosphate limit for someone managing kidney health. People who are most at risk include older adults, those with diabetes or hypertension, individuals who already have slightly reduced kidney function, and those who drink these shakes daily thinking they are a healthier alternative to meals. A safer option is to use a smaller amount. Instead of a full scoop, try half a scoop. Mix it with real, whole foods like a small banana, oats, or berries. Choose protein powders that contain just one ingredient, such as pure pea protein or pure hemp protein, with no added phosphates or fillers. This reduces the burden while still providing nutrients. But there is a drink even more sacred, one believed to heal the body. A healing tradition, but healing changes when kidneys weaken. Bone broth has a long history of being seen as a nourishing and restorative drink. People use it for joint support, gut comfort, and general wellness. It is warm, familiar, and feels natural. But when kidney function is reduced, even slightly, the way the body handles certain minerals changes. And bone broth contains a concentrated mixture of minerals that can become too much for the kidneys to manage. Bone broth is made by simmering bones for many hours. This long cooking time pulls out minerals like sodium, potassium, and phosphorus from the bones into the liquid. For someone with healthy kidneys, these minerals can be handled normally. But for someone with chronic kidney disease or early kidney stress, this becomes a significant load. Kidney function includes balancing these minerals in the blood. When the kidneys cannot filter efficiently, levels of these minerals can rise. High sodium in bone broth can contribute to increased blood pressure and fluid retention, adding stress to the kidneys. Potassium levels can become too high, which may affect heart rhythm. Phosphorus from bone broth is absorbed well by the body, and if too much builds up in the blood, it can pull calcium from the bones and make the kidneys work even harder. A single cup of some commercial bone broths can provide a large portion of the daily recommended limit for someone managing kidney health, especially if they drink it daily as a healing routine. This does not mean bone broth must be removed completely. It means the way it is used should change. Instead of drinking it like a beverage, use a small amount as a flavor base in soups, stews, or sauces. A few tablespoons can add richness without overwhelming the kidneys with minerals. But our Haitian drink carries a risk so hidden, even doctors rarely mention it. It's not the tea, it's the smoke. Yerba mate is often praised as a natural energy booster. Many people drink it to feel more awake, improve focus, or as a healthier alternative to coffee. On its own, the yerba mate plant has antioxidants and beneficial compounds. The concern comes from the traditional way many yerba mate products are processed. The leaves are often dried using smoke, and during this process, they absorb substances called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs. PAHs are the same type of chemical compounds found in tobacco smoke and charred foods. When these smoked yerba mate leaves are brewed into tea, the PAHs can enter the body and circulate in the bloodstream. The kidneys, acting as filters, are responsible for processing and clearing these compounds. Over time, repeated exposure can increase stress on kidney tissue. Some research has linked long-term consumption of smoked yerba mate with increased risks of certain cancers, including kidney, esophageal, and stomach cancers. The risk appears to be higher for people who drink it in large amounts daily, especially when consumed very hot. It is important to understand that the issue is not the yerba mate herb itself, but the smoke drying method. Not all yerba mate products are smoked. Some companies produce air-dried yerba mate, labeled as sin humo, which means without smoke. This version does not contain the same level of PAHs and is considered safer for regular use. For those who want a warm drink with gentle energy support but without the smoke-related risk, alternatives like green tea or rooibos tea offer similar comfort without the PAH exposure. Green tea has lower oxalate content than black tea, and rooibos is naturally caffeine-free. So the solution is not to avoid all herbal drinks. It is to select forms that avoid unnecessary strain and long-term risk. So, how do you rebuild kidney protection from here? Protection, not restriction. The goal is not to remove every drink you enjoy, it's to choose drinks that support kidney function instead of adding extra stress. Once you understand what to look for, evaluating any drink becomes simple. You don't need to memorize complex nutrition charts. You only need to pay attention to a few key details. The first thing to check is sodium. High sodium makes the body hold on to extra fluid, which increases blood pressure and forces the kidneys to work harder. If a drink lists more than a small amount of sodium per serving, especially if it is something you drink daily, it may be adding to the load. The second thing is phosphate. Look for any ingredient ending in phosphate. Words like dipotassium phosphate, calcium phosphate, sodium phosphate, or tricalcium phosphate are clear signs of added phosphate. These forms are absorbed almost completely by the body, which means the kidneys must filter nearly all of it. Prefer products without these additives or choose unfortified versions with shorter ingredient lists. The third thing to consider is oxalates, especially if you have a history of kidney stones. Drinks like strong black tea, concentrated cocoa mixes, and certain herbal blends can be higher in oxalates. If you notice that you often drink these daily, switch part of your intake to lower oxalate options like green tea or rooibos. These three checks, sodium, phosphate, and oxalate, can guide nearly every drink choice. You don't have to be perfect. Even reducing the strain slightly can help protect kidney function over time, especially when done consistently. But changing habits is emotional, not just logical. Cravings and comfort are survival patterns, not failures. The drinks we choose are not just about taste. They are connected to feelings, memories, and daily routines. A warm cup in the morning may represent calm before the day begins. A sweet drink in the afternoon may feel like a small reward. Hot chocolate might remind someone of childhood or a moment where they felt cared for. These emotional associations are real, and they influence choices even more than nutrition labels do. This is why changing drink habits can feel uncomfortable at first. It is not simply switching one product for another. It can feel like losing something familiar. The brain links certain flavors and routines with safety, comfort, or belonging. When someone tries to remove a drink without understanding this emotional layer, the change can feel stressful, and the old habits return. The key is not to think of this as giving something up. It is protecting your future self. It is preserving independence, mobility, and the ability to live life on your own terms. Instead of focusing on what is being reduced, focus on what is being protected. Energy, strength, freedom, and time. Reframing the identity behind the choice is powerful. Instead of saying, "I can't have this anymore," try, "I choose something that supports my kidneys." This shifts control back to you. The decision becomes active, not restricted. It is not about perfection. Small, consistent choices build long-term support. Even one improved drink choice per day can lower kidney strain over time. Understanding the emotional side helps prevent guilt or frustration. There is no need to feel bad about past habits. You made the best choices you could with the information you had. Now, with clearer understanding, you have the ability to choose differently. So, how do you make these changes stick? Small shifts compound into real healing. You don't need to change everything at once. The kidneys respond well to steady, consistent support. A simple daily routine can reduce strain and help your body maintain better balance. Start with hydration. Spread your water intake throughout the day instead of drinking large amounts all at once. A general pattern many people find helpful is 1 glass in the morning after waking, 1 glass mid-morning, 1 before lunch, 1 mid-afternoon, and 1 with dinner. This keeps the kidneys working at a steady pace and helps prevent concentrated urine, which reduces the chance of stone formation. Choose one kidney-safe tea that can be part of your daily routine. Green tea or rooibos tea are both gentle choices. They provide warmth and comfort without the higher oxalate or additive loads found in some other beverages. If you prefer flavor, add a small amount of lemon. The citrate in lemon can help protect against stone development. Then apply one simple swap per day. This means replacing just one drink that strains the kidneys with a safer alternative. If you usually drink sweetened iced tea, switch to green tea with lemon once that day. If you normally use oat milk with phosphate additives, choose an unfortified brand or a homemade version for just 1 cup. If you rely on a full scoop of protein shake, use half a scoop paired with whole foods. These small adjustments reduce kidney load without feeling overwhelming. They allow new habits to form gradually, which makes them easier to maintain. Over time, these choices support kidney function, stability, and overall well-being. Now comes the moment of personal decision. Your kidneys fight for you every day. Will you fight for them? They work continuously, filtering your blood, balancing minerals, and supporting your heart and energy. They don't complain or signal stress until the burden becomes too great. That's why the choices you make now matter. They shape how your body feels not only today, but months and years from now. Choosing drinks that support your kidneys is not about restriction. It is about staying in control of your health. It is about protecting your independence, your routine, your ability to move through life on your own terms. These decisions are small in the moment, but powerful over time. One improved drink a day can shift your kidney load and support better function. You are not starting from zero. You already have the awareness, the motivation, and the reason. Whether your goal is to avoid dialysis, maintain stable function, reduce discomfort, or simply protect your future, the steps you take now can make that difference possible. This journey is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is about being patient with yourself and choosing support instead of stress. Every time you read a label, swap an ingredient, or choose a gentler drink, you are investing in your own strength. You have the ability to shape your health story. You are not powerless, and you are not alone. Because in the next video, we reveal the healthy breakfast foods silently raising creatinine every morning.